Welcome to Second City News. I'm Keela Harrison. In the program today, child poverty in the city and a community scheme that's trying to tackle it. The row about pollution in China, and we hear from you what you think of the new Apple Watch. But first, it may surprise and even shock you to know that some 84,000 children in Birmingham are classed as living in poverty. These figures are from the national charity Child Poverty Action Group and suggest that Ladywood and Hodge Hill constituencies are among the top 5 areas in the country with the highest level of child poverty. Local communities and volunteer groups are making efforts to address the issue. Sandhya Aya went to see the work of one of them.
The phrase, "a tale of two cities," is now commonly being used to describe Birmingham. A growing divide between the rich and the poor is attributing to issues like child poverty. A study by the Campaign to End Child Poverty highlights that 47% of children in Ladywood are living in poverty. Rates for Hodge Hill stand at 43% and Hall Green is at 42%. While thousands are starving in the city, the Real Junk Food Project Birmingham runs a weekly community cafe at the All Saints Church in Small Heath. The co-founder of the project, who also volunteers at the cafe, says there's too much food being wasted.
In the West Midlands alone, we throw away 1,500 tonnes of food every day, and yet there are people not able to eat properly, and there's something very wrong there, so we're trying to do something about it. So it's really amazing. The cafe here in All Saints, we run 3 days a week. We've been open since last November. We've got a lot of regular customers who come through from the local area, and it's a really good community kind of resource. People are kind of making friends and connecting with each other and with food here that they weren't previously, and it's really rewarding seeing the difference that it's making to quite a lot of people's lives here.
The cafe serves a variety of freshly cooked meals, and the volunteers feel it is helping people who are struggling to make ends meet. But are councils and governments the only ones responsible for the current situation? A community activist says that changes need to begin with creating awareness among parents and educating their children about money and wastage.
We need to teach people how to bring up their children, how to budget their money, how to stop wasting stuff, because there's too much waste in this country. People are struggling because we're told you've got to have certain things. We live in England and we're expected to have wall-to-wall carpeting, large screen television, your 8-year-old's supposed to have a mobile phone, you're supposed to have video games, whatever. And people are actually buying these things at the expense of feeding themselves.
The government plans to tackle child poverty by 2020. Further research from the Child Poverty Action Group suggests that 2/3 of the children living in poverty come from working households. However, poor pay and the abuse of zero-hour contracts means that for many people, work is not the only solution.
Sandhya joins me in the studio now because this story is being highlighted by a debate happening today. Can you tell us more about it, Sandhya?
Well, the debate starts at 6:30 in the Parkside Lecture Theatre in Birmingham City University. We have an expert panel that includes Peter Alcock from the Birmingham Child Poverty Commission. We also have Father Oliver Koss, the vicar from All Saints Church in Small Heath, and we have Bharat Chauhan from Birmingham City University School of Nursing, Midwifery and Social Work.
Why is it happening now? The Child Poverty Action Group figures were released at the end of last year.
Yes, that's correct. These figures were published in October 2014, but the issue was brought up in the Kerslake Review, which was recently published, and we had our first public debate on the findings of the review last month. The review highlighted several key issues like homelessness and children's services, but it was criticized for not highlighting other problems like racism and mental health. One of the persons who attended the debate, a person from the public, he raised issues of concerning levels of child poverty in the city, and though the debate had a good public turnout, we would have liked more young people to join in. So tonight's debate on child poverty is a second one in a series of 4.
If people can't make it, is there a way to catch up with the debate?
Well, we hear a lot about people not engaging in social issues such as these, and I would personally encourage them to attend the debate. But if they can't make it, they can watch the debate. It's going to be live streamed online on 3 websites of Birmingham City University, News in Brum, and the Birmingham Post.
Thank you, Sandhya. A student from Birmingham City University has just been awarded first and second prizes for her radio work at a prestigious ceremony in New York. It's not often you can say that. Sophie Sparham was working on a radio project with our twin city, Chicago, and her features were played on the BCU student station, Scratch. Joining me in the studio is the station manager, Kristen Baycroft. You must be delighted, Kristen.
I am absolutely over the moon that Sophie's won these awards, so I'm thrilled for her.
Well, tell us more about it. What were they for?
So, these awards, so the first prize was for the most innovative programme, and the second prize was for most creative. And it's for Sophie's show that, as she said, she did with a sister city, Chicago, with a station out there called Radio DePaul. And it was a kind of like a documentary series about kind of sharing, audio from Birmingham and Chicago.
Right, this isn't the first time BCU is winning an International Radio Award. How are you doing it?
You know what, I think it's just we've got some great talent here at BCU, and I mean, not to say it because I am a BCU student, but I just think we've just got to keep up with the times and keep pushing to do hard work, because everywhere else, everyone's doing such great work. So BC, we're just kind of pushing ourselves and just doing more great work. So I'm thrilled for Scratch. I'm thrilled for everyone who wins awards, to be honest.
All right, thank you, Christian.
Thank you very much.
This Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, and the annual parade comes back to town again with even more activities than before. St. Patrick's Festival Committee has revealed its theme this year is fancy dress. The parade, which is the highlight of the day, will set off from Camp Hill around noon, and the Birmingham Irish Pipes and Drums Band will lead it to Digbeth High Street, taking about 2 hours to do so. Fingers crossed for good weather. We'll check on that focus in a few minutes. Changes to the city's wholesale market have been unveiled in France at the International Property Conference, MIPIM. The scheme, Birmingham Smithfield, plans to create family and leisure space on the wholesale market site in 10 years. The plan also aims to build museums, cinemas, art galleries, and music venues. It hopes to create more than 1,000 new homes and 3,000 new jobs. This week, Apple launched their latest new product, the Apple Watch, priced between £300 and £13,000. Will it be the latest must-have? Zijian Wang had a look.
As Tim Cook said, the new Apple Watch is a big step to make powerful technology more accessible, relevant, and personal. Apple Watch represents a new chapter in the relationship people have with technology. Samsung also released a similar watch, Gear 2, in 2013, and Google has Google Glasses as well. But these two products don't cause hot purchase craze due to the function and price. The Apple has developed an Apple Watch for more than 5 years. Now Apple Watch has precise timepiece, new ways to stay in touch, and a wide range of styles and preference for people to choose. Well, these characters make sense.
No, I think it's a waste of money. Too expensive, and a watch is for telling the time. If you want to use anything else, use a phone. And my advice is not to bother with Apple because you're just paying for a brand.
Yeah, I think, but maybe it's just about the size, really, so it would depend on how big it is.
It's more like an accessory rather than you just show off to your friends and stuff, but that's just it. There's no really used to it.
I look at my phone too much, and if I had a watch, I'd look at that even more.
I don't think I need it. So it's one of those things. If you have a phone, why do you need a little watch that you can see your message and everything? It's the same as a phone, isn't it?
Probably not, only because I think it's getting to the stage where, especially with Apple and the Windows and stuff like that, you're thinking, how much further can I take it? And I think having an iWatch, I don't really see the point in that when you've already got your iPads, your iPhones, your iPods.
The authorities in China have removed from websites a popular documentary called Under the Dome. The film, which highlights the severe air pollution problem which blights so much of the country's major cities, was first broadcast a week ago. Jingqi Wang is here in the studio to tell us about it. Jingqi, why has the Chinese government removed it?
Well, actually, first, air pollution is still a serious problem in China, and the Environmental Ministry has figured out that there are among the 74 cities in China, only 8 cities has passed the government's air quality standards. So that means Chinese people are very pay attention about this issue. And in this film exists many sensitive factors. For example, it published many statistics which was hiding by the government that we can't see before, and also exposed the decay of the government. And she tackled how little power official has at the Ministry of Environmental Protection has to enforce air pollution laws. So this kind of information may cause the social turbulence and injure the profit and image of the government.
What's the reaction been to this censorship?
Well, as we all know that China has a very strict censorship. The whole entire movies should be censored before it's broadcast. But this movie has successfully passed this censorship. So we can see that means government actually support for this documentary, and also they are trying to guide the conscience and instead of control it. So I think this is a progress of the freedom of speech in China. But why the government still need to ban this documentary? There are 2 reasons. The first is, I think the people's reaction is more than governments expected. And another one is China is now holding the 2 sessions during this time. So the governments need a harmonious society environment.
Thank you, Jingqi. Aston Villa fan has been banned for 3 years after Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final disorder. Moore, who's 26, also received a 12-week curfew on community service at Birmingham Magistrate Court on Monday. Moore was one of the 17 people who was arrested in the match of Aston Villa and West Bromwich. And the weather. Well, it's likely to carry on raining for the rest of the day. Top temperature of 11, but feeling cooler. Tomorrow and the St. Patrick's Day parade will have the best of the weekend. Should be dry but cooler at 5 degrees. Back to rain on Sunday, I'm afraid. That's it for Second City News for this week. See you next Friday. Have a good weekend.